Hi, this is Stace Young from the Mommy Rebellion, and once again, we're back with video interviews. Today, I am honored to be interviewing Michelle Thompson, who is amazing. Her bio is like 3 paragraphs long, so I cannot read it all. But her magic is that she is a law and academic coach that focuses on building sustainable work habits for long-term professional women. And she's amazing at what she does. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. It's so exciting to be back with you.
In person this time, yeah.
Right, exactly. Or as in person as we're going to get.
So today we were gonna touch on a couple of different topics, but one of them was how is virtual learning going in NYC, because that's where you're based.
This is true. So when I told God I would like a child, God said, okay, I think that actually works for you. And we're going to give you a low maintenance one. So I want to start.
You get one of those. I want one of those.
So I want to start with that.
Yeah.
That caveat. So he goes to a great public school here in New York, and he, when he started in March, March whatever, like everybody else. Another word, March 180th. We're still doing the same thing. So in the spring, he kept up with all the academic work, and he blew off music and gym.
Yeah.
Like he stopped going. He stopped getting up in the morning for those, and the teachers let me know. So it was a little tense.
Because music's a big deal in your house. You sing and things
right,
too,
exactly.
So that's part of your culture.
But the pandemic has for him been an opportunity for him to give up piano. I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, I don't, I think, what do I have the bandwidth to do and what don't I have the bandwidth to do? Like that's, I was just like, I can't wage that fight with you.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid because you're trying to go to college, but it's fine. You're going that way. I have video of him playing piano anyway, whatever.
He can always come back to it.
He can always come back to it. And even when the pandemic's over, and if he's not at college already, I'll just say, you're doing piano lessons. Stop it. That's it. So it was a little testy at the end of last year.
Yeah. But
he got full credit for everything and moving on. And he wasn't great. And he also got pass fail. Yeah. For the spring. In the fall, the school was like, okay. They gave in. So here's the story. His school is K through 12. And the calculation that the school made was this: that juniors and seniors probably needed less face-to-face time. They needed less face-to-face time, face-to-face instruction, right? They could work more independendly.
And he's a junior or a senior this year?
He's a junior.
Okay.
So if he wanted to, so if juniors and seniors actually wanted some face-to-face learning, so they have a hybrid model and they have a fully remote model.
Okay.
They could come. What they've done is they've converted the school building that we know of to only K through 10, I think. Yeah. So they have so it's socially distanced. They've done the filters. They've done all the things that they need to do. Right. So they're part of the Department of Education, which is K through 12 for most of the city, and they're also part of the City University of New York system, which is a college, college system. So they're connected to Hunter College, and so one of the buildings. So CUNY is meeting completely remotely. Yep. This semester. So they've taken one of the buildings that Hunter College would have normally used, and so if they wanted to do face-to-face, that's where the high school students are. Okay. James, God bless him, because my partner just turned 70 last week. It's like, I want to be remote. I'm like, thank you, Black Jesus. Okay.
Thank you for not. We don't need to have this argument.
So that's good news. So he's fully remote, and it looks like this semester he's actually gotten on his game. Like he's doing the gym classes, he's weightlifting, he's doing all of that stuff. So it's moving along so far. It's fascinating. He's a gamer. He's a hardcore gamer, and so I mean, yes, I think he would like to spend time with people, and he's done a little bit of socializing in
Mm-hmm.
person, like he's gone running with a friend of his, etc. But what's
Lala.
interesting is watching him collaborate about homework with his friends
Yeah.
through Discus. Discus,
Oh,
is that
cool. Discord?
yeah. Discord.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's what
Discord. Yep.
gamers use. Yes.
Yep.
I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching him collaborate about that on Discord. Like, okay, this was the assignment, but it's this and not this. And like, well, the math homework is this. I can't explain factorials to you. I just
Mm-hmm.
know it. Like,
Yep.
I've been watching all of these conversations, and I'm like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's with his buds and he's doing it. And I think I have no reason to think he's not doing the work.
Right.
So, and unlike past years, I really have a schedule. So I haven't checked it. I haven't like followed up on him, but I think it's going the way it's supposed to go. Which is all I can ask for.
Stay tuned. We'll check back now.
Exactly. I'm a little frustrated because his school doesn't have an easily postable GPA, and I need that. So what's frustrating for me is that he wants to do Division I track.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually need to be talking to coaches. Like, as a parent needs to be initiating these conversations with these coaches, and I can't find his GPA. Like, it's not really accessible to me. So there's some things like that are a little, but yeah, he's up and running. In spring term, like 1 week into this, his desktop decided it wasn't working anymore. It's replaced. It's running like a champ. He's using his headset. It's all good. He now has a camera, so he's on camera all the time. So it's all working.
And I suspect that the skills he's learning in Discord, I mean, I'm thinking about my husband upstairs working and how his company has, I think they're using Teams right now, but it's something very similar, and how I tease him that he has a work spouse, how they're always having those conversations that you would have in person, but they're always like having this running thing going on, as well as, working with everybody else.
Exactly. So I can tell that when he's in class, he's doing Discord too, which he's not supposed to be doing, but I'm not going to, again, I don't have bandwidth.
Again, if he was sitting in class, he'd probably be having side conversations. I mean, like, I'm sure you did in college. Like, we figured out how to do that.
Exactly.
That's actually a funny story. My older two left a Girl Scout troop and switched troops partially because they couldn't figure out how to have side conversations. Everybody else in that troop went to the same school, saw each other all the time. My two are homeschooled. My two listen when the leaders say be quiet, and they're quiet, and everyone else is having side conversations, and they couldn't figure this out. So they ended up switching troops. They're both really happy now, but I was just kind of like, because when I go to a big Girl Scout thing, we have side conversations as adults. Like,
it's actually an important social skill.
Exactly. I know that my 12-year-old has figured it out, and I think my 14-year-old's working on it. But it's like you gotta be able to.
You gotta be able to have these side conversations.
So talk to me a little bit about how, just because my kids aren't in sports, how is sports working in a pandemic?
They're not.
They're just not doing it? Because I mean, I know that here locally in Maine, there is some stuff going on, but we're still mainly green most of the state. And I'm watching it. That's going to get shut down soon, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, you talked about a weightlifting class. Are they like doing that virtually, where all the kids are lifting weights at the same time?
So
how does that work?
let me start with my son runs track and field. Like this has like been the thing he does since he was 5, and
That's his thing.
That's his thing. That's his talent. And I'm sitting here being resentful, going, oh, like you might end up at I did the marathon and I did all the things, but you're going to go to the Olympics. Oh, okay. It's like that. It's like that.
Oh, you gave him good genes, Mama.
Great. Okay, I'll cheer.
Yeah.
All right. My resentments aside. So he hasn't, the team, like I think they're team workouts and stuff like that, but the team, clearly there's been no athletics happening. What do they call this? What is this? PSAL, Public School Athletic Association. They're the people who govern the like all of the sports, all of the events, and they are not running anything in the fall. Right. So for James, this has meant right before the pandemic, right before New York shut down, he's like, Mom, can I have a gym membership? I'm like, I'm not sure I should have gone to the gym today. And no, and you're not 16.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was easy. Post-pandemic, he's like, okay, so can I have the gym membership now? I'm like, I was actually getting ready to cancel my membership because I'm like, I don't feel like we really need to be in a gym. But I went in, there's lots of, they're much lower capacity, social distancing, constant cleaning. So I'm like, okay, you can go. So that's part of what he does. He goes to the gym, and he actually can make an appointment to go. And so, so that's all good. There's a friend of his who was switching something. So he's been studying all summer long. And so that child has been socially distanced, and he's done sprints with this friend.
Yeah.
Like they'll do sprints, and then they'll go to Shake Shack, get something to eat, and then he'll come home. And I want to.
So that's he's got a pod a little bit.
He's got a bit of a pod, and I don't want to I want to help him. How am I going to frame this? I don't want to say you have no judgment. I don't want to say I don't trust your judgment.
Right.
He's actually he's actually he's sharp. He sees what's going on. During the pandemic, we've had, my mother died. Yeah. The refrigerator died, so we had to replace a refrigerator in the middle of the pandemic.
You had some plumbing issues at one point too.
Yes,
the sink wasn't working or something.
Right, exactly. Like the faucet had rusted in the sink. We had to replace that. Right. So he actually at one point said to me, "Why is everything happening at the same time?" I'm like, I don't know.
The way life works.
The way it is, and so I know that he's got a head on his shoulders, and I want to encourage that on his part, and I think he's done well with the social distancing. Like I'll say, we're not sick.
I think, what's been important in my house is just making sure that they are aware of the actual science. So I'm the daughter of a microbiologist / immunologist. We listen to This Week in Virology. The kids hear it periodically. Anytime they have questions, we go straight to science and reputable sources. And like my 14-year-old wears her mask all the time, and she's kind of in the car, she's sort of the mask police. So sometimes like we'll stop someplace like the feed store, and Rob will get out and she'll be like, "Dad, your mask, do you have your mask?" Like, so nice. Which is great. It's great.
Nice.
But yeah, I think you've got to empower them, because you can't keep them in a bubble, especially as they get older.
Right.
But I feel like if you point them into the places to get reputable information, because let's face it, social media is not that right now. And then the other, I think, kind of corollary but big thing is there's a YouTuber that they love watching her cook, and she's been taking apart some of those really high trendy cooking hacks and showing you how they don't work. And that's been great, because now my kids are like, oh, just because someone made a video about it doesn't mean
it's a thing, right?
That it does anything. And if you know enough about the subject to be like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem quite right, you might be absolutely correct that it's not a thing.
Right.
So,
right. No, I agree. And he's been great. Every time he goes out, he wears a mask. I don't have to have a conversation. The other day he was watching CNN. He's like, "Why is this politicized?" I'm like, "My work here is done on this earth." Okay.
I know, exactly. My kids are like that. They're like, "Why is this a discussion?"
Right. So I think that's right. And like he's in game world, but he's got his head on his shoulders too.
Well, I totally am allowing my kids to gamify some of their education this semester, year, whatever. There's a program that I got them called Adventure Academy. That's I think it's from like 8 or 9 to the end of middle school. But all my older kids have it, and they get in-game money for doing work, for learning about stuff, videos, whatever, that they can then, big sister, they can then trip out their avatar and their avatar's house. So they're learning some how to buy stuff skills and save up and whatever, but then they're also just, they're learning stuff. And I'm completely fine with it because it's doing all of the things that, like grammar, like they're learning the words where I have functional grammar. I know if it sounds right, but I'm not an editor like you. I don't need to know what the word is that that describes this type of word. Like,
right.
I don't need to know that.
Right.
And I'm fine with that because I've got my hubby working from home, and it's the weather is still good, but it's not going to be for much longer. You know, we live in Maine, and I've got right, exactly. I've got a small child that is now getting mobile. And I run my own business, and by gosh, I got to be able to knit and read a book every now and then. So,
just saying. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So one of the big joys for us this year has been having our little one, and because my husband's been home, he's gotten to be with her so much more.
Oh, nice.
Than
with the other girls.
Than except for the first two. He spent the most time with M, and that has been wonderful. What are some of the things? What are some of the joys that have come out of the pandemic in your life? I know you've had a lot of hard stuff.
Well, my exercise is on fleek. I will say that. Like because it's a big part of sleep. You know.
Yeah.
Like like if I'm not sleeping, like I will end the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a big part of sleep management. But I will say this: I decided to work with Shannon Plummer, and I am 50 pounds lighter than I was last fall,
which is amazing.
And so I lost 20 of those pounds doing the adrenal reset diet last fall. And then, so we live in a condo, but across the street are housing projects. Right. And so, we've got very, I'm not that far from the Bronx, like the East River is very close, so while Harlem wasn't a super hot spot, maybe it was a warm spot, but it wasn't it wasn't Queens, it wasn't the Bronx. I knew that if my blood pressure was super high, and my blood sugar levels were really high, like I was not gonna stand a chance against COVID. So that's why I worked with her. And but it's given me a chance to really connect with my body and to go, ooh, let's check in about whether we need to be doing X, Y, and Z right now, or how I'm doing it. And that's been really great. I also realized, I am an introvert. I know that, but I'm trying to see how introverted I am. I'm totally fine at home. All day long. I'm good.
That's
totally great.
A fun thing to learn about my kids. I knew one of my kids was a lot more extroverted than maybe I am. I now know that at least two of my kids have a bit more extroversion, just because it's been so hard not to have play dates or to, everybody was like, oh, you homeschool, this is easy for you. I'm like, we don't do it at home. I don't do it alone. Homeschooling often does not take place at home. It takes place at all the other places, and now we can't go to all the other places. So
I know I can tell my son is far less introverted than I am, right? Because he would be on Discus all the time.
Discord. Yeah. Discord. Well, except that I don't know. That's a little, to me, that takes energy, but it is not the same amount of energy as being in a classroom with other kids.
This is true.
Or even going to a coffee date or like that. Depending on where you are, I've certainly had points in my life where walking into a busy coffee shop is not my idea of a good time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Even if I'm not meeting anyone there, just that many people, that much stimulus, that much as an empath, that much extra information, can be. I
can do coffee shops, but I have my headphones in and I have my thing to do. The other thing that's been good is I actually joined. Okay, so here's the irony. I joined Business Network International, and that's been lovely, making connections with. It's been really lovely making connections with other people who are just like there's lovely people in my chapter, and it's been a way to get visibility about my business in much easier ways. I feel like I'm working less hard to get much more bang.
And that's been virtual this year, right?
It's totally been, I joined right after the pandemic started. So that's been great. That's been another really amazing thing that's come out of this.
Yeah, and I think that's probably really great for those of us who are a bit more introverted, because I remember when I heard about BNI way back 10, 15 years ago, you know, the idea of having to go to one more meeting, just, you know, especially if you're a mom with younger kids who are a little less really self-sufficient. I mean, your son probably doesn't care, but like, yeah.
So that's been great. And I will say that it was great to get my first reopening hairdo and to get a haircut. I need to get another haircut. New York may be on the verge of shutting down again. I know there's some zip codes, so I just kind of want to get mine in, tighten it up before we.
Yeah, I would.
Lock down. Yeah,
I would. I totally cut my own. I got my dad to do
the back. It looks fantastic.
But we've got henna and indigo coming, so I'm hoping that the gray will pick up.
I like the gray.
Or the green. I like it too, but I don't know. I'm 40 this year. I've got a newborn. I was kind of like, maybe I just need to put some blue in it and then feel just a little, you know.
Blue would be fun. Blue would be fun.
You know, when you haven't slept well and you look at yourself in the mirror, like.
Yeah, I do. I do remember that.
You're like, a bit like, you know.
Why do I need this reminder? Yes.
And well, I've been working with Shannon. I haven't really started losing the weight yet because my job is to rest, which is really difficult when there are 7 people in your house. And so I'm working on that. But, you know, it's a way to, I was thinking about doing it as a way to be really respectful and feel good about a part of myself right now. Whereas, you know, there's some other bits that I'm working on the self-talk, but I'm not perfect or completely there yet. So.
Yep, that takes time. I mean, they're all practices, right?
Exactly.
But it turns out my blood pressure isn't just a food thing. It's like, it's the emotional stuff. And I'm like, okay.
Oh man, really?
Really? Okay. I thought, fine. But it's just gonna take work.
Yeah. Well, we have had a lovely conversation. Where can people find out more about what you do?
So my website is michelledionethompson.com. That's 2 L's, 2 N's.
It'll be in the notes below this video too.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is Dionne Thompson. And on Twitter, Michelle Dionne Thompson Life Coach. Not Twitter, sorry, Facebook. Michelle Dionne Thompson.
You're also on Twitter too. So.
Yes, I'm on all the places. And you can also find me on Instagram, Michelle Dionne Thompson.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. This was fun. Thank you.